The story of Kevin Spacey has taken yet another heartbreaking turn, one that even the most dramatic Hollywood scriptwriters could never have predicted. 8 years after the sexual abuse scandal that brought his career to a halt, the two-time Oscar winner is revealing a painful truth few expected. He is now homeless. In a new emotional interview with the Telegraph, Kevin Spacey, once one of the most respected and powerful actors in the world, explains that he is living in hotels, Airbnbs, and temporary rentals after years of legal battles drained his finances completely. With a voice weighted by exhaustion and a spirit that feels beaten down by time, Kevin admits, "I literally have no home." A statement so stark it sent shockwaves across Hollywood and beyond. It has been more than a year since Kevin Spacey sat across from Piers Morgan on Piers Morgan Uncensored, tearfully describing the implosion of his life and career. During that interview, he revealed that the Baltimore residence he had been living in was being foreclosed upon. "My house is being sold at auction. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to live now," he confessed, his voice breaking as he acknowledged that he simply couldn't pay the bills he owed. Today, his update is even more alarming. He says the financial pressure never stopped, and the mounting legal costs pushed him beyond the point of recovery. Now, at 70 years old, Kevin says he owns none of his money and is actually in considerable millions, many millions of dollars in debt. Hearing Kevin Spacey describe this free fall feels surreal, especially when remembering the height of his career. At the peak of his fame, he was the star of House of Cards, he had won 2 Academy Awards, and he was publicly celebrated as one of the greatest actors of his generation. But everything changed in 2017 when Anthony Rapp, known for his work on Star Trek Discovery, accused Kevin Spacey of sexual assault, claiming the incident occurred decades earlier when he was a teenager. The allegation was the first domino in a chain reaction that forever altered the trajectory of Kevin's life. After the Anthony Rapp allegation became public, more people stepped forward with their own accusations. Social media erupted, Hollywood studios distanced themselves, and the entertainment industry that once embraced Kevin now turned its back on him almost overnight. Production on House of Cards halted, and the series' trajectory completely shifted. Kevin was edited out of films, cut from completed projects, and became one of the first major Hollywood figures to be publicly exiled during the height of the Me Too movement. Though Kevin consistently denied all allegations, the damage was done long before any courtroom verdict arrived. While many people assumed Kevin simply retreated into privacy or wealth, the truth reveals a much darker struggle. In this new interview, he explains that the legal battles that followed consumed everything he owned. He says the costs were astronomical, draining him month after month, year after year, as he fought to clear his name in case after case. Whether traveling for trials, paying lawyers, or fighting off additional civil suits, the financial pressure swallowed every resource he had. Kevin describes a life where money only went out and nothing came in. No studios would hire him, no projects would take him, and no comeback seemed possible during the height of the scandal. Despite the public perception that Hollywood stars live with unlimited wealth, Kevin Spacey says that the reality of legal warfare is brutally different. He now spends his days moving between temporary rentals, hotels, and Airbnbs, unsure of where he will live next. The notion of home, something he says he once took for granted, has become a luxury he can no longer afford. The foreclosure of his Baltimore property marked the beginning of his financial collapse. But the ongoing debt, millions upon millions, reveals a much deeper struggle. He does not hide from it, he simply states it plainly. "I am in debt, considerable debt." And yet, even while describing one of the darkest chapters of his life, Kevin Spacey says he sees a glimmer of hope. He believes he will return to Hollywood, and he says there are still powerful people who want to bring him back into the industry. "We are in touch with some extremely powerful people who want to put me back to work," he insists, sounding determined despite everything he has endured. He even mentions that if directors like Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino called his longtime manager Evan Lowenstein, his exile would be over in an instant. Just the possibility of such legendary filmmakers showing interest keeps Kevin's confidence alive. When asked what he plans to do next, his answer is simple yet symbolic: get back on the horse. For Kevin, acting isn't just a career, it's his identity, his lifeline, the one part of himself that has survived the storms of the last 7 years. He says he is ready to return to film, ready to step back into the world that once celebrated him, and ready for audiences to judge his talent instead of the headlines surrounding his past. His legal journey reached its turning point when, after multiple trials and accusations, Kevin Spacey was found not guilty on 9 sex offense charges in a London courtroom. Leaving the courthouse, he told reporters, "I am humbled by the outcome today," thanking the jury for taking the time to examine all of the evidence. For him, the verdict was not just a legal victory, it was validation, a moment that he hoped would mark the beginning of his comeback. But the public's memory is long, and Hollywood's fear of controversy remains strong. Even with a series of legal wins behind him, the shadow of the allegations still follows Kevin Spacey everywhere he goes. To this day, many people remain divided over his case. Some believe he deserves a second chance, especially after being acquitted in court. Others feel that the allegations, regardless of verdict, permanently changed how the world sees him. This divide is what makes his comeback so complicated. And yet, Kevin seems determined to push forward, even if he must start from the bottom and rebuild everything he has lost. His interview with the Telegraph shows a man with nothing left financially, but still holding on to a powerful sense of identity and purpose. He speaks openly about the humiliation of losing his home, the exhaustion of fighting non-stop legal battles, and the loneliness of being professionally exiled. But within that vulnerability lies an unbroken resilience, the same fire that once made him one of Hollywood's greatest actors. Even now, living out of suitcases, Kevin believes that Hollywood may eventually welcome him back. The truth is, Kevin Spacey's story is far from over. It is a story filled with fame, scandal, downfall, legal battles, emotional confessions, and now the harsh reality of homelessness. It is a story of a man who once stood at the very top of the entertainment world, only to be pushed to the very bottom. But it is also a story about the unpredictable nature of redemption in Hollywood. Because if even one major director decides to take a risk on him, everything could change again, just as quickly as it did in 2017. For now, Kevin waits, hoping for a call that could rebuild the life he lost. He has no home, no stable income, and millions of dollars in debt. But he has something he believes is stronger than all of that: his talent and the possibility of a second chance. Whether Hollywood or the public is willing to offer that chance remains to be seen. But Kevin Spacey is ready. He says he has survived the worst, and now all that's left is to climb his way back to the world that once belonged to him.